What do you want to talk about this week?
Well, do you want to start off with the NFL and the lovely playoff games, and then we can talk about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess.
Or the Pro Bowl first, if you really, really want to get that detailed.
No, I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is worthless at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Pro Bowl, like 33 starters for the Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
There's 33 replacements of an 85-man roster for the Pro Bowl already. The Pro Bowl isn't AFC, NFC anymore, so you don't get to, figure out who's playing. I mean, I'm sure the Pro Bowl has its demographic and it has its TV audience, and it's just very, very slim.
Didn't it used to, determine who was home field, or who was the home team?
It may have at one point. Don't get me wrong.
I think it was a while back.
Yeah, not in the past 10 years, I don't think.
Yeah.
Now they just go between... Well, why would it be home field anyways? They always play the neutral site.
True, but they would get to wear their home colors.
Maybe?
I don't remember.
Now I just think that the Panthers decide they want to wear black, and then the Denver Broncos go, okay, we're not also wearing...
We're not going to wear orange.
We're not going to wear orange.
Well, I mean, they're pretty
could.
bad.
I mean, it doesn't...
I saw a stat, they were really bad whenever they wear orange in the Super Bowl. They, lose,
Well, yeah, they lost 43-8 when they were wearing orange.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
That is for sure. That was a horrible game. I feel so sorry for every Denver Broncos fan for that. Seahawks, when they just beat them. The safety really just...
Yeah.
In that game.
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk about the two games from the weekend.
Okay.
Let's talk about the first game first. I guess that would make sense.
So yeah, that makes sense.
The Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots. Here's my take.
Okay.
The Patriots did they didn't have that many turnovers, but the Patriots did a lot of things wrong in that game. They could not block.
Missed a field goal.
Von Miller. They missed an extra point.
Oh yeah. Extra point.
They did so many things wrong. They couldn't block Von Miller from getting to Tom Brady. Tom Brady was running around. And they still had a chance on the last, with 12 seconds left. Mm-hmm. That's when it was decided. Before then, it was still like a game. Mm-hmm. So, for me, as a fan of the NFL, great game to watch, kind of. Horrible game to watch, kind of as well. I'm on the fence about how good this game was to watch. Mainly because the game was kind of crappy to watch in all essence, because it was okay, who's going to come out at the end in this very, drudged out match when basically the Broncos couldn't find a way to score that much. And then
looked really old to me. His mileage finally showed towards, the end. And just my opinion. It just... I know he could do better, I feel like. I don't know. That game wasn't as pretty as I would like it to be.
You're right. The thing I take away is... Let's see here. The thing I took away from that game was that the team that won, the Broncos, would have definitely lost if it had been at the Patriots stadium.
Probably, yes.
The Patriots, I think in New England it was 20 degrees or something, and Peyton Manning throwing when he can barely even feel the ball, it's below freezing.
Yep.
I feel like the Broncos just definitely lose that game if it's not in Denver. I feel like the Broncos lose. Now, by the same point here, if the Broncos are playing in beautiful San Diego, I think the Broncos maybe score one more touchdown. I don't think it mattered that much. I don't think that the Broncos would have been benefited by better playing weather than what they had already. But I'm saying if the temperature was 30 or 40 degrees, colder than it was in Denver on Sunday, and it was actually 20 degrees outside, which is what it was in New England, and it was snowing and everything like that, I think the Patriots just run away with it.
It just looks sloppy to me, in my opinion.
Well, the amount of times where I said, they're out of it, and that's it.
Yeah.
The Patriots-wise, I was
back.
They're out of it, that's it. They came back.
Yeah.
They had a 4th and 10 completion for, I want to say, close to 40 to 50 yards to Gronkowski when he was double covered, and it had to be one of the prettiest passes I've seen in a very long time, especially from Tom Brady, which has come to be expected from good passes from him.
Yeah.
But
considering he was rushed all the time and he was kind of
right, he was pressured
passes
on every single drop back. I mean, if you turn on SportsCenter, there that's the line. Tom Brady was pressured more than any other quarterback's ever been pressured.
Yeah.
Since we started recording statistics, of course, which I think is 12 years ago. But point is, Denver didn't go away winning this game. I feel like the Patriots lost it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if the Patriots, if Gus Cousins, The Patriots field goal kicker is a great field goal kicker. He hit 523 straight field goals before missing that one.
Yep.
It just sucks that he had to miss that one.
Yep.
If he had missed one in the previous game against the Chiefs, no one would have batted an eye. It would have been like, he'll get him next, he'll get him next time or something like that. In this one though, I was like, oh my gosh, this. Whenever I saw that, that ESPN update, Gostkowski missed his first field goal in quite a while.
Yeah. I
thought to myself, wow, this is going to mean something. And sure enough, it did. Because
it almost did not mean something because they almost made that 2-point conversion.
Right. I mean,
there's a lot of what ifs.
It meant something that we like. Now that we're here, it means something. But before, during the game, it didn't mean anything. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, in the last 5 minutes of the game, it didn't mean that much. And now, when you look back at it, you go, wow, that definitely meant something, that missed PAT. Because then, I mean, if they make the PAT, then in the final touchdown drive, when they pass it to to Gronkowski, and then they just put it up the uprights one more time. It's a tie game. We're going to overtime, and it's probably a different storyline today.
So my question was, how healthy do you think the Patriots were? Were they near 100%? 80 maybe?
They're on their 18th running back, it seems.
True.
And I don't even think I'm using that big of a hyperbole here. I think they might be on their actual 6th or 7th at this point. The running back they had, White, dropped a couple of passes out of the backfield, and Tom Brady usually has Shane Vereen as a security blanket of types or sorts, but it was just I feel like the Patriots were 90% healthy, and that 10% was the running back department.
Yeah,
and that 10%, if
Tom Brady had more rushing yards than everybody else.
Yeah, I want to say if the New England had Julius Randle, for example, who didn't do much for Dallas, but at least if they had somebody who could catch a pass out of the backfield, it's a different ball game for them the end of the season. You talk about games where the Patriots should have beat the Dolphins, and then they would have had home field. There's a lot of what ifs as you go back and think about it. That happens in sports every single time you say anything.
Yeah.
But the Denver Patriots game is it's questionable in some of the calls that Belichick made, and I don't think I've thought that before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever.
The first time I've gone, they seem to step behind.
Yeah.
And the first time I've ever thought to myself, wow, Gary Kubiak had a good coaching job that time.
Yeah. Not really.
Well, better, I guess. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What was your takeaway from the game, Trey?
My takeaway is the Carolina Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl based on the Denver team that played. Yes, they had a good defense, but offense was kind of it had its moments here and there, but it was not 100% clicking.
What, 2 touchdowns? I mean, they had 20 points in total. Denver did, and 14 of the points was throwing it to Owen Daniels, in single coverage. I don't think Carolina's going to let that happen.
Yeah, and they had so many turnovers that they could have gotten points off of, I felt like.
Yes.
Or they had so much good field position that they just didn't take advantage of, so I'm not so thrilled about these Broncos.
Me either, and here's a question for you as well, since I think you know more Denver information than I do.
Okay, we're stretching that.
Here's the other question. If you chose a team, because I know you're pretty undecided when it comes to NFL teams overall.
Yes.
Would you say overall you're a Denver fan more than any other team? If you had to choose,
probably because of just the players, because I like a lot of the players. Yeah.
Because here's what I feel like right now.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a great story if Peyton Manning wins and that's it, and he comes back and he leads into victory. I mean,
with his
fourth quarter final drive,
fourth head coach,
fourth different head coach, and in the Super Bowl, that type of stuff.
And then he retires, hopefully.
But here's my thought on this game. Cam Newton's time is going to be here for a minute, barring any kind of injury.
Yeah.
Or crazy thing we don't know about Cam Newton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cam Newton clearly is physically bigger than everyone, it seems. Cam Newton, there was a period of time when Cam Newton was at Auburn, and I went, wow, he's just better than everyone. He's just bigger than everyone. That's really it. He's got that kind of
mentality.
He got that mentality, but he had the ability to run over everyone like Tim Tebow did, fullback size. Mm-hmm. But he also was quick enough to kind of run through people as well.
And could throw.
But, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that if Cam Newton needs to, like, the way the Falcons stopped Cam Newton was they made him pass all day. Let's not get away from that. Mm-hmm. That's the way they have won losses. The Falcons basically said, pass the ball. Bring it. Mm-hmm. What we learned, though, is that if Cam Newton has time to pass the ball and he can clearly maneuver around the pocket, well, then he's good at passing the ball. I mean, it's not. There's not a glaring weakness I see. So the point I'm making here is I don't see where that Cam Newton is not going to be able to be in Super Bowl contention or playoff contention for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't see anything happening. I mean,
unless there's like contract issues,
right? Unless there's something like, barring something we don't see right now. Yeah. You know, looking forward right now, I don't see a reason or suspect anything of why Cam Newton would not be able to bring this same Carolina Panthers team with Kelvin Benjamin, might I say, their number one receiver back next year, which is Super Bowl again next year. I don't think the same about the Broncos. Mm-hmm. The Broncos had so many close games this year.
This is like their last season. Because I know Brady probably won't stay, or I mean not Brady. Woo. Peyton won't be around. Because I think he's pretty much on his last leg right now. So, and he's like health concerns and everything. So that's gonna be fun. I think the Broncos, this is their last hurrah for a little bit. I have this feeling. Unless they have these amazing trades, which they did in an offseason a couple of years ago. So,
yeah. I don't see Denver making it back to the Super Bowl next year. I don't see them being able to put up this same kind of, what do I want to say here? Spectacular chances of everything going on. They had so many close games.
Yes.
You go back through and you think of how many games Denver could have lost. Too many to count on two hands, I think. Mm-hmm. And then and it was a 16-game season clearly. So that's my big takeaway is I don't see Denver being able to repeat this. I do see Denver defense keeping it up for a little bit longer though. But I want to say DeMarcus Ware had what I considered to be a quite a long time playing for the Dallas Cowboys before he went to Denver.
Yeah.
And I seamlessly forgot that he was even a Denver player until last night. Until Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's always been
finally
there.
showed up / got a lot of media attention for it, what I'm going to say.
He's always been there, but Von Miller's been like doing more of the sacks.
Yeah, that's
because they usually double team Ware. So
yeah. Well,
you want to talk about the Cardinals and Panthers game now?
Might as well at this point, right?
Okay, so do you think Carson Palmer has enough to bring the team back to another spectacular year? Or, because this was like his only third or fourth playoff game ever, so.
I think Palmer can. I think Palmer's probably got one more year. Like, nothing I saw from Palmer this season made me go, wow, he's old.
Yeah.
Nothing even a glimpse of it, really.
I would say more this last game was kind of like his...
But not, I wouldn't say old. I would just say as much as just like...
inexperience?
Yeah, almost. Like,
but
you know how when you get up for like, as a student, when you get up for like a school group presentation or something, and you kind of get like those butterflies, you're nervous because you just haven't done it that much?
Yeah.
I feel like that was Carson Palmer in the playoffs. Kind of that nervous, like, I've never been here before. This game means so much. This group presentation means so much. I've never been here before. I haven't done it with these group of people before. I feel like this.
But then that would have the same issue with like Cam, but Cam just rocked it.
There's also people. I mean, yeah, I know. I hope I aced my group presentation today. My by myself presentation today. But there's also people who walk up there and just know and just are good. But I would say this, though. Carson Palmer wasn't playing for... Carson Palmer was a Heisman, so I can't say that. Mm-hmm. I don't know about Carson Palmer. I feel like he's got another year.
Yes.
I feel like the guys on that team have another year.
You think Fitzgerald has another year?
As a slot receiver, yeah.
Okay.
Which is what he is now.
Okay.
Which is, a great fit.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that I wish the Cardinals had more of, and I'm not sure what that is.
I would say a little bit better. Like,
Well, they lost Tyrann Mathieu, who covers the slot receiver, and the slot receiver's thrown to so many times now, it's not even funny. Yeah. So that's really something to think about, is they lost Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger, and there was enough of it when I went, wow, they could have used him. But you can't have 7 turnovers in a game and then try to win, too. It's just those jitters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But a lot of that game, though, I go, wow, the Panthers' defense is a lot better than I had ever heard they were.
Because I think it's 1 and 2 now. That's going at, like, the defensive rank is going into the
Super Bowl. The Panthers' offense is good. Not the greatest. I think there's better offenses in the NFL this year. I think when the Patriots were fully healthy and they had a running back and they had Gronkowski and they had Edelman and they had Amendola, you're not stopping the Patriots offense. Week 1 for the Patriots. Dang. That was
16,
crazy.
Not so good.
Week 16, 17, and third round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not the same, but it also is like an inexperienced thing as well. The thing I really took away from the Panthers-Cardinals game was, wow, the Panthers are good. I didn't really think that, this means a bunch for this. I don't think it means a ton for the Super Bowl in the way that I don't think the Panthers are just going to blow them out.
Yeah, I don't think
because I don't think any NFC team that the Panthers played this year had such a good defense. Cardinals had a good defense, but the Panthers didn't play them. The Falcons had a good defense.
They did play them. They just played them. Cardinals.
What, Panthers?
Yeah.
Right, but like the Cardinals defense, I'm saying the regular season.
Oh, okay. Regular season.
So
yeah, they
in the playoffs, I feel like it's just a different animal entirely, and you kind of throw rankings out the window a little bit here and there. Yeah. You're right. The Cardinals defense clearly didn't show up that much, but I just feel like the Panthers offense did enough most of the season to win games and pull them out. Got up enough against the Seahawks in the first half, got up enough against another team in the first half, and then basically they told everyone to just this was an FU game.
They were
just Cardinals. They're not anything. Yeah. We are going to show you who we are, and sure enough they did.
I think it's like the most points scored in the NFC or championship game or something like that.
But also the Cardinals defense, where'd they go? I mean, it's on one hand I want to say, wow.
Yeah, where was the defense?
The Cardinals defense just wasn't there.
A week ago.
But then again, I mean the drive they had against Green Bay. I mean, where'd the Cardinals defense go again? There. Yeah. So I want to say like, wow, where'd they go in that essence? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I also want to say, but the Panthers offense showed up huge too. It's a fine line here. We're trying to like figure out in between who was that team. Who won the game or who lost it. Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like the Patriots lost the game against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like the Panthers won the game.
Definitely.
I mean the Cardinals, but then again the Cardinals had 7 turnovers.
Yeah,
so
2 fumbles and 5 picks.
And then that punt return that could have gone. Yeah. I don't think the punt return matters that much because there were 6 other turnovers in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Carson Palmer...
I mean, it kind of mattered because it was like right... They were only down 17-7 or something,
right.
21-7.
Right.
But still, like, you could have had a drive right before half and then, have that good pep talk and then come back and win because that's usually what happens in the NFC. But... today.
Yeah, it's just a very weird game for the Cardinals and an amazingly great game for the Panthers.
So
I think the Panthers played just about as well as any team could ever hope to play in that game. I think the Panthers basically, did they even have a turnover? I mean, there were so many things that went well for the Panthers. My thought is going to the Super Bowl weekend, and we'll get to our picks here in a second for games. I think we're pretty much decided, though. I think we're on the same side here. But my thought from the Panthers game was every single thing went right for them. Every single thing went wrong for the Cardinals, it seemed. Yeah. Putting up 14 points or however many it was against 49 is just not But you got to score more than you probably got in today's NFL age. You probably got to score more than 24 to win a playoff game at this point. You know, generally you need to. On average, I'd say that the stats from this playoff season would definitely back me up at least on that. You know, you got to score at least 24 to win.
This season, yeah,
right. And this is kind of a newer NFL era where the bigger guys just win, and it's less about mind games with Belichick and Brady and stuff like that. I feel like we're moving into something where if you're fast and you're big, you're going to win. We can just run over you because so much of it has become to the pass game. And so many of the rules and rule changes and everything is now related to passing. Yeah. Can't touch the receiver after, you know, all that type of stuff.
They still run the ball relatively well too, though.
Yeah, but now you can see running backs' values have definitely gone down.
Yes.
Mark Ingram was paid $4 million a year. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. 10 years ago, you would have gone, what? You know?
Yeah.
No way, Heisman Trophy winners, you know. Gonna, you know, still 5 years after he enters the NFL, he's gonna make, you know, only that much money. In today's NFL day and age, it's just moving into a different era. More of a passing era, more of a quick speed.
Exciting.
Yeah, speed and force.
Yep.
And less of running backs cutting up and down the middle. So Trey.
Yes, Super Bowl predictions.
Super Bowl predictions here.
Let's go with score. Let's predict the score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. I've already thought about this. So for me, I'm gonna go with Carolina winning 28-17.
28-17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much right there. I want to say like 31-21.
Okay.
Carolina. And I just think that's how. I just think the game will be close for the first quarter, and then Carolina will just.
There'll be an interception or something that will change the game. That's
there'll be a momentum shift that'll move back towards the Panthers, and that'll kind of be the rest of the game.
Pretty much, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I don't see a way where this really works out.
Then you have Coldplay playing at halftime, and then you just move on to the rest of the game.
Yeah, which is commercials, everything like that.
Yep.
Is there any way you see the Denver Broncos winning though?
Unless their special teams goes off,
or defense.
No, I'm going more with special teams. Like their special teams gets amazing kicks, and they are pinned within the 5-yard line all the time. They have great returns, that type of stuff. Because I don't see offense, defense. They're compared are pretty even, and just special teams for Panthers were a little bit special because they got a takeaway from Arizona, even though the guy should have just fair caught it and actually caught the ball. But that's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Peterson catches that. I think there's a difference in the game for sure, but I don't think it's a huge difference.
No.
Carson Palmer still had 6 total turnovers.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy. I mean, it sucks when that happens, but 6 turnovers is 6 turnovers at that point.
There's one quarter, on both these games that we watched, one quarterback was in a lot of stress. Tom Brady and then Carson Palmer. I would feel because they were always pressured, it felt like.
Yeah. It was very, it was a good game for, Denver Patriots was a better game than Panthers Cardinals for sure.
True.
But you kind of watched the Cardinals, die, I guess? I don't know, you know what I mean? You kind of watched all the hopes and dreams of the Cardinals fans just kind of wither away in the 6 turnovers and the 7th as well, of course. But
yeah,
and then in the Patriots Denver game, think about it this way: if Denver loses that game on a 2-point conversion, goes to overtime, and let's say Patriots just win on their first drive in overtime, it sucks to be a Denver fan then at that point.
Yeah.
Denver fans are feeling great today. I know that, and they're feeling great Monday as well. I think you mean
all the league is feeling great today.
Yeah, all the league is feeling great because the Dark Empire lost. But
how awkward would it have been if they had to present the Super Bowl trophy to Tom Brady after the Deflate Gate?
That would have been one of the greatest things to see. I would actually have tuned in and been excited for the Super Bowl presentation.
Yes,
trophy presentation. And if Peyton Manning wins, I'll be excited. And if Cam Newton wins, if the Panthers or Broncos win, I'll be excited and I'll watch it too. But wow, that'd been really ironic.
Yeah.
Especially when the Patriots lost a first-round draft pick in this upcoming draft due to Deflategate.
Yep.
We still don't. I feel like we still don't know everything about that.
No, we don't. But we won't ever know because they've already kind of
I feel like in 10 years we'll know. I feel like just
like
Deflategate story. Yeah.
Bill Belichick will write in his memoirs type of book type of thing.
Memoir. I don't
biography.
think.
Yeah, I totally did that. I totally did this. I totally did that.
You know how we know more about Spygate and how they conducted it now than before. I feel like we'll just know more in 10 years.
Maybe.
I just feel like the information right now that someone has somewhere to share is worth so much right now, and it would cause such a media stir right now that they don't want to share it. And then the Patriots thing is kind of the leak it out.
I still don't get why
years.
you the one thing that made me really weird about this whole entire situation is that you're targeting a player that doesn't really have control of that. I just feel like
it's that thing about did you know?
Did you know this?
Did you know this took place? Did you ask for this to take place? It's the same kind of thing of one of those scandals, NCAA. Did you know that this assistant coach offered money or other activities or something to the recruits? And then, of course, the coach goes, "Oh, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I had no idea." Plays dumb. But, all right.
Would you like to switch over to a different topic now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 20 minutes left here. NBA.
All right.
Guess what, Trey?
What?
My dark horse pick is the number 8 seed overall right now. If the NBA,
guess what?
You know what?
Well,
and guess where the Lakers are?
Dead last.
Why did you think the Lakers were going to be that good?
This
is the question I had.
I thought the Black Mamba was going to have his great comeback year, because he's retiring, and so he's going to have this amazing year to come off and try to break some records. Last attempt to break some records.
Peyton Manning-esque year.
Yeah.
Same year.
Or Brett Favre-esque last year.
Brett Favre-esque, yeah.
But that's obviously not going to happen. It's a little too late.
Right.
It's bad.
If the Lakers draft Ben Simmons, I will be livid. I will be very, very upset.
They could also draft Buddy
If
Hill.
okay, hold up.
Maybe?
If the Lakers get the number 1 overall, if any team gets the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft, if the Lakers get him especially, but if any team gets the number 1 overall NBA draft pick, they're gonna draft Ben Simmons at this point. I think Ben Simmons would have to have an injury, gosh, this is all this guy's gonna be known for, but Marcus Lattimore injury, to really go down and it be one of those things. I don't think that kind of thing happens in basketball, but whoever drafts the number 1 overall, it'll just be.
But the lottery system's gonna rig it so that
the lottery system could rig it where the Lakers get the number 1 overall draft pick, get Ben Simmons.
No, it's gonna be the
year,
76ers.
I just don't think so. I feel like the Sixers just aren't getting this one.
Oh, I have this feeling they will because they always do, and then they always not do well, ever.
I just feel like the Sixers aren't getting this one. I feel like it's gonna. I would love to see the Magic get them. Any team really besides the Lakers. I'm not a Lakers fan. It's not like I'm a huge Celtics fan. I mean, I like Brad Stevens and Marcus Smart because Marcus Smart went to Oklahoma State. Go Pokes. But
gotta get that.
Go Pokes.
Yeah, gotta get that.
But my thing on that is please don't let the Lakers just rebound so quickly to being the great team again. Because
it's only been 1 year.
That's what I'm saying.
2 years.
If the Lakers get
it's been 3-ish years.
Since the Lakers have been just crazy good.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, guess what?
What?
We're gonna add Walter to the radio show real quick here.
All
you
right. We're welcoming Walter, to our NBA expert.
Hey, Walter, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Doing good, man. We're just talking about the Lakers possibly getting the draft pick, number 1 overall, and if they do, it would be horrible. Do you agree or not?
The Lakers getting the number 1 draft pick, huh?
I would be really. Would you not be really irritated if this happened?
It would be. Obviously they would pick Simmons, right? You think that would be the?
No, that's a no-brainer. And then they're suddenly.
It would be a no-brainer. whether it's through the draft or through trading. So you might as well hopefully let them fall by their own fruition and draft a horrible player.
I don't think they're going to draft a horrible player, but
If
you never know.
I would.
Russell kid, he might. I mean, he's looking pretty good, but we don't know. We're not for sure yet.
Well, here's like Julius Randle isn't getting enough playing time in my opinion. You know, he should probably be starting in my opinion. And D'Angelo Russell, is he starting right now? I don't think so. So he should definitely be starting as well. Just get those guys more playing time. But also kind of Byron Scott's just not the coach for the Lakers at this point, and he's not maturing those players. And it's kind of one of those things where the 76ers at this point have a not good coach and they're tanking, and I feel like the Lakers are almost in the same kind of boat here. Once Kobe's gone, I feel like Byron Scott's gone as well, and the Lakers get a new head coach and kind of move forward. Do you see the same thing?
Do you think the Lakers go after Luke Walton as their coach, though?
Yeah.
They've got the Jordan Clarkson, they got Julius Randle, and if D'Angelo Russell can form his game around and get an overall game, we've got some pieces to work with in LA.
Yeah, and they'll have plenty of cap space this offseason. I would rather see the Lakers not get so lucky through the lottery and rather see them do what the Lakers just do and bring in guys. Well, I guess it's not really. The Lakers brought in Kobe through a trade, but I would rather see the Lakers build it with free agents as long as they don't take Westbrook and do it that way versus the Lakers getting lucky and drafting Ben Simmons and then having then in 3 consecutive drafts having a power forward, a point guard / shooting guard, and I don't even know what position Ben Simmons will play the whole time, but I would assume he's going to play small forward in a lineup with Julius Randle. So, what's your opinion, Walter?
Well, historically, the Lakers don't build in the draft. I mean, they got Kobe through trade, but they typically just sign a big name, and you see it throughout. They did it with Shaq and Steve Nash. You go back with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, it really wouldn't surprise me to see them get a big name in free agency. And what they did with Steve Nash and ruin their draft picks. I don't think they would necessarily do it with just high picks, but I mean, you never really know with the Lakers. That's just one thing.
That's very true.
don't forget, they've also been burned on trades like Jeremy Lin.
Everyone bought into the Jeremy Lin hype. I think the Thunder would have gladly taken Jeremy Lin as a backup whenever he was doing so good. But then the Houston Rockets really just took the whole Jeremy Lin thing to another level when they signed him for that crazy amount of money where the Knicks couldn't sign him again. But the Houston Rockets are another thing. Walter,
have you guys seen the news from the other LA team? Have you guys talked about that yet? That
we have not.
Baffles me. It just baffles me how the Clippers can just keep just not turning the right page, it seems like.
Well, it's such a weird thing to hear that Blake Griffin, of all guys, the guy who's so charismatic through NBA commercials, slam dunk contest champion,
looks happy as can be,
all that type of stuff, punches an assistant. I feel like there's way more to the story than we're ever gonna know. But
yeah,
what's your opinion on how the Clippers move forward from here?
If it was me, I would have them all on the baseline of practice running about 600 suicides until they start puking the brains out. But
these are also NBA players that get paid millions of dollars, which will not do that.
Yeah, they would never do that.
If it was your way,
and that's why I'll never be an NBA coach. Something needs to happen. Chris Paul really needs to take the lead of this team. He was the head of the players union for a while. He needs to take the lead of this team. They've got a good team. I mean, J.J. Redick just the other day put up 40 points.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the pieces around them, and they're going to be in the playoff picture by the end of it. I mean, they're what, fifth place right now, looking outside Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe
think so.
And they can easily get to 4. I don't think they'll catch the Thunder at 3, but they could make a good push at the playoffs and get a good favorable spot.
They definitely could. I'm with you 110% there. If you're the Clippers, what do you do right now with Blake Griffin? Do you suspend him once he's not injured to show kind of you can't do that? It's not an organization. Or do you just go ahead and suspend him right now without pay or something to just show some kind of ramification? Because it's not an acceptable behavior in such a sensitive and politically correct era that we're in now, and which is the right way to go, clearly. But it's not something where the Clippers need to do something to kind of show their muscle and tell everyone like we don't accept this as an organization. What do you think they do moving forward, Walter?
Well, here's the thing: when you have your starting power forward break his hand punching someone, it just makes your team look like a bully, and that doesn't help with what happened in the offseason with DeAndre Jordan. So they really need to focus. I will probably suspend Blake Griffin 1 game, maybe 2 games at most. You definitely need to investigate and see what the whole story is, because like you said, we'll probably never know, but they might. He was hurt anyway, so he's probably going to be hurt even longer. But when you look at it, it's just overall not very good image, and you've got to really try to help that. And you've got Paul Pierce and Chris Paul, and I know Chris Paul has not always had the most favorable image, but at least Paul Pierce has had some sort of image. So maybe try to just focus around him and try to get him to lead the team.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you there for sure. Do you think the Clippers will be okay without him, without Griffin?
Oh, I think so.
I think they're 11-3 so far without him this season. But do you think they can really keep that up?
Yeah, I think they're fine without, but they're going to need him in the playoffs. I mean, once push comes to shove for this backstretch, they're going to need him healthy. For right now, I think they can get by okay, especially with Houston not playing very well and the Mavericks seeming to do the San Antonio method and resting players. It seems as though that they should be okay. But they do need to get him back because they're lost without him. They need him down in the front court because he's going to have to go up against the San Antonio or Thunder team, and they just need that front court presence.
Yeah, I'm with you 110% on that one. That sounds good, for sure. Is there while we've got you on the phone here, is there anything you think of from the NBA season that captivates your kind of attention so far? I mean, the Warriors are doing just magnificently well. The Spurs, besides the game last night, seem to be
sitting out their main star.
Well, I mean, that is what it is. But besides the Spurs kind of sitting out that one night, they seem to be doing pretty darn good as well. Is there something that catches your attention so far this NBA season that you didn't expect?
Yeah, it goes back to what happened last Friday with the Cavs firing David Blatt.
Mm-hmm.
That'd probably be number one, but number two would be the Mavericks. I mean, you got to give. I'd probably give. I don't know if you give Rick Carlisle Coach of the Year, but you definitely put him in consideration what he's done with this team. I mean, Zaza Pachulia is like in the top 10 in double doubles this season in the NBA, which is ridiculous for someone that's never really lived up.
That's true. I mean, I'm with you 110% there. His with the David Blatt firing, do you think he was kind of doomed from the start to get fired before LeBron left? It was going to be, Blatt was going to go before LeBron.
I don't know if we'll ever find out that answer, but it was a strange hire. The fact that he had no prior NBA experience coaching, and they hired him before LeBron. I don't want to say he was doomed, but I mean, wouldn't you guys think so? He leads the team to the finals and then has the number 1 seed in the East, and he still gets fired. I mean, how much better could you do except win the finals?
I think the difference is because he doesn't have control of the team, and it was more the assistant coach was coaching, it looks like, and now that's what he's doing now, so...
Well, okay, in that game, my opinion solely is that it's LeBron kind of coaching the team. LeBron's always kind of been the coach. Mm-hmm. LeBron hasn't had a coach LeBron's had like 5 different head coaches who have previously never held a head coaching job before or have gotten fired from their last one. Something similar to that, and in my opinion, Blatt was gone from the moment he got hired, really, because he was hired before LeBron James decided where he was going to play. But we're kind of living in LeBron's world, which is going to shortly become Steph Curry's world. But for right now, I think at least this season right now, it's LeBron's world that we're all living in, and what LeBron wants, LeBron's pretty much going to get. Do you agree with that at some point, Walter? And, it was decided.
Like you said, these are NBA players. There's tons of times in the NBA season last year and this season where David Blatt tried either pulling LeBron out or LeBron didn't like to play and he had to redo it. How, as an NBA coach, can you command respect when a player won't come off the field or off the court and say, you know what, I'm not going to run this play? And it makes me wonder, what did Eric Spoelstra do right down in Miami to get this respect from LeBron? Was it the fact that Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh were down there? And now the fact that he's kind of, well, he's not the only superstar, but he's the older veteran superstar now, so to speak.
I'm with you. I think that Spoelstra had a different style. I think that Spoelstra came up within an organization and was once the video production assistant or something like that. And right now, David Blatt had no head. Like, that's what boggled my mind, is that as a Cavs franchise, they didn't hire somebody who had previously had NBA coaching experience. They didn't lure a guy away. Who's the guy? Lionel Hollins. They didn't hire him away from the Grizzlies or anything like that. And I believe that was the time when Hollins actually just gotten fired from the Grizzlies. It seemed like a very weird hire, but also it was so odd because Blatt was a guy who was hired, but he had never coached the NBA before, or even been an assistant coach in the NBA, if I'm right here in saying that. It seemed very odd to me. Would you say, right, Walter? Right, Trey?
I mean, it's very odd. I mean, he had such success overseas, but that's a different game. I mean, when you've got players coming over there, I would consider it more of a collegiate league in the sense that these players understand what the coach-player relationship is. I think the coach-player relationship in the NBA is much different than college basketball. Wouldn't you guys agree with that?
Yes,
Definitely.
So that's probably, I would say that's probably the biggest problem. But at the end of the day, you've got the great coaches like Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson, and they would not have put up with that.
I agree with you 110%. I don't think that Kobe is as good of a player as he is if he has Phil Jackson, and I think LeBron has at least one more championship if he has a coach like Phil Jackson when he's been playing.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, but let's say it this way. If LeBron had an NBA head coach that we all know and respect, even Brad Stevens at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Stevens is actually, I mean, it's mind-blowing how the Boston Celtics team is that good with the players they have. But my point here is that no one's saying the Cavs are bad. They're number one overall in the East right now. They're doing great. But if LeBron James throughout his playing career, especially when he started with the Cavs, from day one, if LeBron James had a coach like Larry Brown, Larry Brown's currently coaching SMU. You think if the Cavs had called him up and said, "Do you want to come coach our team?" With what Larry Brown knows, with over 1,000 total NBA and ABA wins, Larry Brown wouldn't just jump on that plane?
Well, that's a good question. Larry Brown's doing pretty well down at SMU. I know he's got his problems with the NCAA violation. The thing is, LeBron needs to put the team before himself. He needs to accept the fact that he can't do everything by himself. There's things on the court that he's not going to be able to see because he is on the court and you can't see it. And until he does that, I don't see him. I see him dominating the East because, for the most part, it looks like, I don't know, maybe Chicago or Toronto might give him their best bet. But other than that, it looks fairly easy. But once he gets to a team like the Spurs or the Warriors or maybe the Thunder, that's team ball. And as much as he wants to try to do this all by himself, he's not going to be able to do it.
I agree with you 110%, Walter. And LeBron's time is coming to a close. Well, not coming to a close, but it's becoming more Steph Curry's time, in my opinion.
Yes.
Moving forward in the NBA, but it's real interesting how this whole NBA season's gone so far. I'm excited for the playoffs for sure. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. We'll definitely watch the Warriors play and see how good they do. Hopefully the Thunder are right there with them the whole season, and we will see on February 6th when the Thunder play the Warriors at the Warriors, I believe, and that'll be a great game. We'll definitely have a recap of that the Tuesday afterwards. But for now, Walter, we got to go. Someone's waiting outside to get on the radio. So, Walter, we will be back next week. Of course, Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m.
Woo! The usual time.
With the Calvin and Troy Radio Show. Still trying to come up with a name here.
It's still the greatest name ever. I don't know.
And again, but the Trey, it just... I wish I could say, yeah, it is, but it also just isn't the greatest radio show name I've ever heard. It just isn't. I'm sorry. But for now, end it on a good note, and we will be back next week.
And
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
Trey.
And I'm Calvin, of course.